Well, things are heating up in the Carmelo Anthony case, and now we know there is footage of the incident. And no shock, apparently they are refusing to release it to the public, but they're letting the media see it, and the media tell us what they saw, which is absolutely ridiculous. I'm sure the completely non-biased and definitely not untrustworthy mainstream media is going to tell me exactly what's in these tapes. The case is, I've said this before, and I'll say it again. By the way, Carmelo Anthony is scheduled to be indicted this month. I am predicting now that he will not get charged with the correct crime. He will get charged with the lesser crime. That's my prediction. From the judge lowering the bail, to the school letting him graduate, to, or lowering the bail, to even giving him bail in the first place. Every person along the way here has allowed what is, in my opinion, at least in some part, premeditated crime go with the least punishment humanly imaginable. They're even talking about delaying the trial so that media will forget about it, so that you will forget about it. Make sure you leave a like in this video and you subscribe or follow, because I won't stop covering this until justice is served. Here's the article. Terrifying surveillance footage emerges of Austin Metcalf's attack at the track meet. The horrific incident that saw track star Austin Metcalf pass away was recorded on surveillance footage. Austin Metcalf, a Memorial High School junior, we all know, lost his life that day because somebody had low impulse control. The devastating incident on April 2nd was recorded on a wide-angle camera capturing a distant view of the stadium in Frisco where the ordeal unraveled. A tiny portion of the clash would be seen in the upper left-hand corner on the screen, according to WFAA, who was granted a limited access to the footage. The video reportedly shows Memorial High School pop-up tent on the track meet where Anthony was accused of barging into before allegedly pulling out his poker, as the kids say on TikTok now. Metcalf and Anthony, Metcalf and Anthony, then a senior at rival Centennial High School, were not, quote, totally identifiable in the video provided by the school district. Gee, I wonder why. Gee, I wonder if they scaled it down so you couldn't tell what was going on. You know, I just have this weird feeling. At 9:55 a.m., a sudden movement was seen at the tent on the bleachers, but the alleged incident wasn't totally visible. There was movement outside the tent, but it was all heavily pixelated, showing figures at the top of the bleachers. Some of them were positioned just above the tent, and others just below. Shortly after the sudden movement, several people, likely students, were seen running from the area. Others on the field reacted by moving toward the back gate. Paramedics arrived at the scene 9 minutes after the incident, entering through the same back gate and parking in the middle of the field. It had been previously reported that Metcalf's twin brother Hunter was with him and held him as he passed away. On the video, paramedics were seen wheeling a gurney to the bottom of the bleachers to attempt to save Austin's life. About 15 minutes after the incident, a tarp was raised over the bleachers and rain was beginning to fall heavily at this time. About 26 minutes after the incident, emergency medical services left and were replaced with people believed to be law enforcement setting up a crime scene. The surveillance footage is expected to be a key piece of evidence for the grand jury, which will decide in the next coming weeks whether or not the charges will be upheld. This is where I'm very concerned about the justice for Austin Metcalf. By the end of the month, so it's already the 11th at the time of this recording, so it's no more than 2 weeks roughly. In the next 2 weeks, the grand jury is going to decide if they're going to charge him with the crime he clearly committed or give him his fourth in a row break. I suspect they will give him a break and charge him with a lesser charge. Anthony's attorney, Mike Howard, confirmed to WFAA that he's seen the video, but neither the victim's family or the suspect's family has disclosed whether they've seen it. Metcalf and Anthony were two track athletes from opposing schools, and they both attended this event. Witnesses told PD that for some reason, Anthony migrated over to the Memorial High School pop-up tent probably because maybe we'll find out he had beef with them at some point. Anthony unzipped his bag, reaching in, telling Metcalf, touch me and see what happens. A witness told police. The affidavit said Metcalf then grabbed Anthony to tell him to move, and Anthony pulled out his weapon and took his life. Anthony is accused of fleeing the scene and tossing the weapon into the bleachers. He was arrested shortly after. Responding officers said that Anthony told them that he was protecting himself and that Anthony put his hands on him. Metcalf put his hands on him. Anthony also told the officers, I'm not alleged, I did it. He's, of course, under house arrest, enjoying NCAA 2K right now, wearing an ankle monitor as he awaits the next developments in the case against him. Meanwhile, others are outraged that Anthony's family has been able to raise upwards of $535,000 on a crowdfunding site GiveSendGo to support the legal defense. The money also went towards paying the rent of a $900,000 home in a luxury gated community in Frisco. While the legal defense is a critical part of this journey, we want to make sure that this fund is not solely dedicated to legal expenses. Anthony's mom, Kayla Hayes, who administers the GoFundMe, posted, which also hasn't been updated in several weeks. Now, a local reporter has also claimed to see the video, and here's what she says. Many people seem confused about why this video was allowed to be seen, which parts were permitted for viewing, and other details. Allow me to clarify. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them. I have seen the video via an open records request. The actual incident cannot be seen, only moments before and after. You cannot see what's happening. You cannot identify faces. The footage is very grainy and recorded from far away. The opposite side of the stadium. The actual incident isn't shown, as this portion is being withheld by the DA for possible evidence in the case. However, I've been told that much of it may not even be admissible since nothing is clearly visible. After the incident, EMS arrives on the scene 9 minutes later. You can see the individual running down the bleachers, tripping and falling, then getting up and continuing to run. This individual was Karmelo Anthony. The publicly released clip has zero evidentiary value. Unfortunately, for many fake, quote, reporters and activists defending Anthony have used this video to claim they saw the incident. They saw absolutely nothing. I reported this weeks ago, but for the first time, I'm grateful that the mainstream media is finally catching up. Now everyone knows people like Tiffany Billions and other, quote, disruptors are lying about claiming that they saw it and that it was self-defense. It seems unlikely that if the rest of the video was, kind of grainy and you couldn't really tell, I actually think that that's worse. That's actually worse than, for example, that's worse than if it was clear. Because the defense will say, well, we can't really see. We can't really see, so who knows what was going on. It's going to give him reasonable doubt. And so all we're going to have now is witness testimony. Now, fortunately, in this case, there are dozens of witnesses for this. So, it's pretty interesting. You see Fox, surveillance video of it in Texas track meet officials say. If we look at the other people covering it, Frisco ISD incident district does not release video, but let us watch it. So here's what we saw. Well, here's what another person is from local news, WFAA, is saying. Metcalf and Anthony are not identifiable in the video. Around 9:55 a.m., a sudden movement is observed at the tent, but the alleged act itself is not visible. There are a lot of moving, but it's heavily pixelated. Figures at the top of the bleachers, just above the tent, and the bottom of the tent appears to be sprinkling at the time. Shortly after, several individuals believed to be students are running, while others on the field are moving to the back gate. Emergency medical services arrive 9 minutes later. So we don't really know. They're going to say that there are going to be activists that say this proves his innocence. But I think this case is going to come down to kids' witness testimony, which is concerning. Here in the Fox News, Anthony is facing first-degree charges. Authorities say that this happened. The arrest report obtained sheds new light on the pre-incident clash, saying that Austin stood up and pushed me and pushed the male to get him out of the tent. The arrest report said witness told Anthony then he reached into his bag. I mean, the push does not appear to be up for debate. We have not seen the Metcalf say they didn't push him. The thing is, getting pushed does not actually constitute, people who don't understand stand your ground law. They say, well, it's a stand your ground law. He doesn't have to. No, because Karmelo Anthony escalated the situation, he does not qualify for stand your ground. In fact, he has, again, once he re-escalates it or, escalates the situation, he now has a duty to retreat. The people that don't understand the stand your ground law in Texas are spreading this nonsense that, well, it was mutual combat and Karmelo had a duty to retreat. No, had no duty to retreat. Yes, he did. By his own words and by witness testimony, he escalated the situation. He brought a weapon with him. He absolutely had a duty to retreat. This is going to be interesting. I don't know why they didn't release the video. I'm sure we'll see it come out at the trial, but it's pretty interesting to me. So he had to climb steps to reach their tent, go inside instead of going into his, which was much lower. I'm pretty sure he intended on doing something. What it was, I'll leave up to the jury to figure. I mean, it seems like it could be premeditated. He may have had some sort of beef and he went up there looking for trouble. I don't know. We've never seen any evidence that he had other friends in the, in the tent that he was going to meet, which is what has been claimed. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. I hope you enjoyed this video or at least informed by it. Make sure you don't miss a video by, again, subscribing or following. We'll talk to you again real soon.